Good morning to you. I'm Danilo Evangelista, and welcome to our Tropical Weather Outlook video for today, Monday, August 11th, 2025. We are starting off this week with a newly formed tropical storm in the Atlantic, Tropical Storm Erin, as of the 11 a.m. advisory, which came out just minutes ago, is now official in the Eastern Atlantic here. And in fact, a lot of the data and a lot of the cones not loaded yet, so you know that this is for sure just hot off the press. But we officially have Tropical Storm Erin, as I said would happen probably yesterday when it was getting together very quickly. I said it was going to form probably within the next day, and now we have Tropical Storm Erin out here in the Eastern Atlantic. Definitely one of the more farther east tropical systems I've seen, especially this early on in the season, in a while. And this is going to be a very long-tracked storm. This is going to be one of those classic long-tracked, pretty powerful hurricanes. And I'll show you the cone here in a minute, because, spoiler alert, Erin is forecast to become a major hurricane. This is going to be one of those classic long track storms that we're going to have to watch for the next week out here in the Atlantic, and there's going to be a lot of speculation of what exactly happens with Erin. The models kind of take it out to sea now, but of course, it's a week out, and we could have something happen with the ridge, or we could have a further shift in the track south. Or something like that. Something could cause that to change, especially since we're talking about Erin being a full week out until until we truly know what's going to happen, especially once it gets towards the Western Atlantic. And I'll go over what all the models show in a little bit. But bottom line, what I'm trying to tell you is we're going to be watching this storm for the next week, and get ready for a upcoming week of extremely long and crazy tracking, because this is going to be one of those storms. It's just going to be how it is with Erin. Current maximum sustained winds are 45 miles per hour, minimum central pressure of 1,004 millibars. It's located at 17.4 north, 28.0 west, so once again, very far in the Eastern Atlantic, and it is moving due west right now at 20 miles per hour, so a pretty fast mover. And I'll show you the National Hurricane Center track. And I didn't even get this from the National Hurricane Center website, because they haven't even loaded yet. I got this from Discord, if you're familiar with it. And yes, they forecast a major hurricane once we get to the weekend. And this starts approaching just north of the islands. And this is going to be a storm that we're going to have to watch for the next week. And even with intensity, we can't be too sure, because sometimes, and I'll show you with the satellite imagery right now. In fact, I'll bring you to the satellite imagery right now. Erin is a very small storm, and it could very well ramp up quickly and become a hurricane, or even a major hurricane, much earlier than it was originally, than it's being forecast to right now. But bottom line, the National Hurricane Center advisory number 1 already out of the gate with a major hurricane, so that pretty much already solidifies that Erin is likely to become a powerful hurricane eventually. And this is going to be one of those storms that we're going to have to watch, one of those classic long track storms in the Atlantic that we're going to have to watch for a week, maybe even 2 weeks. And I will say that, once again, this is the earliest that we've had this in quite a while. We've not had a super long track storm develop all the way in the far Eastern Atlantic in the month of August, especially early August, in a while, because obviously there was Irma from 2017, and I know there's a lot of comparisons being thrown around with Irma right now. And I mean, let's go back to the track here. Very funny that it has a slight southwest dip, kind of exactly like how Irma was. But obviously, no two storms are the same. But what I was mentioning with Irma, I guess Irma was the last, major hurricane we had develop in the month of August, but it really did not get going till it got to September. Well, I guess Florence also counts as well, but either Irma or Florence. It's not been since then since we had any sort of storm form in the Eastern Atlantic in August, and especially um, way beyond that since we've had a storm form in the Eastern Atlantic in early August. We're not even in the first half of August yet, and we're already talking about a storm like Erin. And it's probably going to continue to strengthen. I mean, again, the National Hurricane Center forecasts it to be a major hurricane. This will run into a little bit of struggle. Uh, and obviously, the National Hurricane Center does not forecast it'll strengthen very quickly over the next several days. And one big reason why is obviously, look at this, lots of dry air still to the west of Erin now, in the Eastern Atlantic, especially just north of the Atlantic, um, or just north of the MDR. Lots of dry air still, and that'll probably inhibit it from strengthening too quickly over the next several days, although stranger things have happened, and once again, Erin is a small storm, so it could really ramp up quickly and catch us all off guard. And hopefully that doesn't happen. And one reason why we shouldn't hope that happens is because shear wise, you can't even look. It's so far west. It's so far east. You can't even see Erin on this map. But Erin all the way out here in the Eastern Atlantic, and for pretty much most of the MDR. Maybe just one spot here as we get towards the western MDR. A little bit of high shear right now, but shear is going to remain low throughout pretty much Erin's entire trek through the deep tropics here as it traverses the entire MDR. Shear will be low and favorable for it. Sea surface temperature anomalies will definitely be favorable for it. Once again, I've been talking about this for the last few weeks, really since the beginning of June. The MDR is very, very warm right now. Sea surface temperature anomalies easily a degree Celsius for a good chunk of the MDR, and even a small area here off the west coast of Africa, very, very warm sea surface temperature anomalies. But especially as this gets further and further west, sea surface temperature anomalies only get warmer and are solidly throughout a good chunk of the MDR, especially heading into the just north of the islands, and then we get towards the western Atlantic and, closer to where we live, very solidly at least a degree Celsius above normal. So the actual sea surface temperature is steaming hot. And something that I've not brought up yet, surprisingly, I don't remember the last time I brought this up, but it's really also important too, the tropical cyclone heat potential. So pretty much the upper ocean heat constant, as in all of the energy that is lurking below the surface, that also increases quite a bit as the track goes further west too, because Erin is somewhere right here in the Eastern Atlantic right now, and you do not have a lot of tropical cyclone heat potential in the ocean. So obviously it probably will not strengthen too quickly, at least for now, but especially as it gets towards the Western Atlantic, boy, does it go up, and boy, is there a lot of energy in the ocean. It's nuclear, especially, I said this before, the environment further west is completely nuclear. And I'd even say that the MDR itself is more favorable, especially that we're getting a storm like Erin forming in the far Eastern Atlantic. And it's not even the last third of the month yet. And this is, again, the earliest we've had a storm like this. So I'd even say the MDR is more favorable than people are estimating right now, and all these values here. This is just going to get warmer. This is also just going to get warmer as well with more energy in the MDR, because we're not even in September yet. So this is just the beginning. That's all I'm saying to you guys. Is Erin is just the beginning of probably what will be a very long peak, but we'll address that in the weeks to come. For now, the focus is all just going to be on Erin, and let's really quickly show you what the GFS shows. Even the models are kind of a little bit behind on Erin forming. Really, GFS indicates that it doesn't really form till Tuesday, or we don't really even have a very solid vorticity signature that looks like a tropical cyclone on the GFS till Tuesday. So it's kind of interesting that the models seem to be a little bit behind on this, but obviously it does form on the GFS, even though it's already formed in real life, and it just strengthens the more it heads further west, and then Eventually, it begins to take a little bit more of a west-northwest turn as it starts getting into the western MDR near the islands. So I will say for now, those in the Caribbean islands, it's very far out, but I do not think you guys have to worry about a direct impact, at least for now. Things could obviously change, and there was kind of a southwesterly shift in the track last night in the models, but at least for now, again, if you're in the Caribbean islands, I would not worry. And then just beyond that, whether it shifts further west into the East Coast or it goes out to sea or quote unquote air quotes out to sea, because Bermuda would probably have to watch, and even Atlantic Canada, you guys would especially be the ones to watch, especially if this, only recurves near Bermuda. So we'll have to see what happens. But this is going to be a long ways of tracking for the next few days. Will not impact any land for at least the next 5 days, so we won't have to worry about imminent land impacts. Although I will say, Cabo Verde Islands got quite a lashing from the precursor of now Tropical Storm Erin yesterday. I think 6 people died because of flooding. Again, that just only proves flooding and rain is the biggest killer and is always very much underestimated by the public. So please keep that in mind going forward, because this is something I'll continue to stress each and every single day. But at least for the next week, though, Erin's probably just going to traverse the MDR on a westerly direction, and then as it gets towards the western MDR, it'll probably start going a little bit more northwest. But beyond that, really beyond 5 days, and definitely once we get to 7 days, I'm just going to put a big question mark right now, because there's still so much uncertainty. And that I think is illustrated very well if you look at the European ensembles. This is the 0Z overnight European run of its ensembles. And notice, especially as we get further and further west and further, out in time, just notice how much spread there is here on the ensemble run. From some members ranging all the way from pretty much passing just a few miles east of Florida, once we get to the 10-day time frame, to some ensembles all the way out here off the coast of Atlantic Canada, and just probably going into the northern Atlantic. So this is like 1,000 miles spread or something like that. Incredible spread, meaning incredible uncertainty, meaning we cannot really predict anything right now, especially once we get towards the 7 to 10-day time frame. Too much uncertainty. Now, I will say most of the guidance is suggesting that this will probably go out to sea, but again, it's all 7 to 10 days out. And I know I mentioned a particular storm earlier on. If you remember the name of it, I'm not going to repeat it because I don't want to get in trouble. But early on, the track guidance for that storm also kind of showed it going out to sea, although passing somewhat close to Bermuda and the East Coast. And then eventually, as time went on, it continued to shift further to the southwest and southwest and southwest. Before you know it, it was over the islands. So bottom line, what I'm trying to tell you is we're going to have to watch how this storm progresses over the next week. We can't make any guesses when it comes to track, especially for United States or Bahamas, because that is well beyond the range of certainty right now, meaning that the only thing we could do is just keep a watchful eye on this storm for the next week. It's going to be one of those type of systems, and that's pretty much all I could say for Erin right now. And that's all I could pretty much say, with certainty, other than, obviously, we have Erin. It's probably going to become a powerful hurricane sometime later this week. And eventually, we'll just have to see what it does down the road. With that being said, though, I'm going to end it off for today's video. Definitely subscribe to my channel, like this video, comment your thoughts below, and especially subscribe to my channel. If you decide to do that, which I really strongly encourage that you do, please like the video, yes, but turn on the notification bell so you can get the videos the moment I upload them, and you'll especially want to do that because we'll be posting these videos every single day. I just noticed I have a little bit of a typo here. Oh, whatever. I don't think most people will notice, but Please subscribe to my channel, turn on the notification bell, and stay tuned because we'll be having a lot of videos coming up this entire week. Maybe even, depending on how things progress, we'll start doing multiple videos a day. So make sure to stay tuned for that. Other than that, enjoy the rest of your day. Peace, love, and kindness to you all. And of course, I'll be back with more tomorrow.